What's poppin', Pokemon fans out there? Welcome back to another video of mine. I'm Ace Trainer Josh, and I'll be bringing you my first upload in a long time. Mainly because I just, didn't feel like uploading. Just wanted to play Mons, have fun, nothing too special. But a couple weeks ago, got a special invite from a special person you may know as the Regulator, or the T-Wave Simulator or whatever. And yeah, I got invited to take over for an LD draft spot. And this is for the final 4 weeks of the league, and his team is 0-6. So I'm probably getting relegated, LOL forehead. So it gives me an opportunity to potentially set my spot in a pretty prestigious league, I would say. Because I would say this league is pretty prestigious, LD. Rings a bell in a lot of people's heads in the community. For a draft, at least. So, yeah, I'm here. And I have a new recording setup into my room now instead of like the back of my house, so that should be pretty interesting to work with. And nobody's around, so I figured I had the perfect opportunity to record a video. Plus, I know I've said this before, but I have a special plan for my IPA season, and I do plan to upload my weeks whenever I can. And school is actually a lot less of an issue, so if I don't record, it's purely because I don't want to. So just putting that out there. So yeah, I might not be able to see my mouse, you might be able to, but I am the number 5, the Texas Turtwigs, and this is the first league I've seen where you have like your little mon next to the name that you're representing, like the San Francisco Raptors and the Indiana Keldeos. So that's really cool. So yeah, this is a team I took and worked with. I originally did not have Porygon 2, I did not have Diancie, I did not have Typhlosion, but everything else I did have. No, and I had Mega Sharpedo, but I replaced it with Mega Pidgeot because I looked over my matchup. And I looked over my matchups, and I felt Mega Pidgeot was a better option than Mega Sharpedo. Although Mega Sharpedo would have been a lot better for this matchup that I have for this week, but I felt this was fine. Sort of cheating, but not really. It's just like the way I can work with things. And I forgot what I had besides these fuckers. I had Mesprit instead of Diancie. I forgot who I had over Typhlosion, and I forgot who I had over P2. Either way, I exchanged Stealth Rockers basically. It gives me another fairy. I had a Florges over a P2, that's right. And then I had one more Mon. I'm not gonna remember, there's no way. So let's just keep it at that. My opponent this week is Darc and the Sharknado Mega Sharpedos. I'm guessing that's what that M means. And he has a Torrentee, T-Tar, Excadrill, Emboar, Mungus, Altaria, Slowbro, Galvantula, Frostlass, Statland. So yeah, on paper Mega Sharpedo ate his ass, but I felt that Mega Pidgeot had a better matchup in the other in the remaining weeks after this one. So I just felt like it was worth to just deal with the bad matchup for this week and just go from there. So yeah, he has a very interesting team. I would show you the notes, but I deleted it a while ago. And I'm actually working on other matchups, so I can't really show you. But yeah, his fastest mon is Torrentee. It's a very slow team overall. Frostlass is 110, Galvantula 108. From there, it drops pretty tremendously. His next fastest mon after that, besides those 3, I believe is Excadrill. Yeah, Excadrill at base 80 some speed. So it's a very interesting team to look around because I didn't notice until I was looking over matchup, but Torrentee and Mega Pidgeot have the same exact speed stat. So that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure if you'll choose to run a max speed Torrentee, but spoilers, I don't choose to run a max speed Pidgeot. I didn't feel it was worth speed time with the bird, because if he's AV, he doesn't get to a kill by Hurricane, I believe, depending on the spread. So I just felt like that was the best thing. Not to mention Mega Pidgeot. Like, it has its ways and it doesn't have its ways. Like, obviously, Driller and T-Tar. Well, Driller not necessarily needs sand to check me, but T-Tar is like a hard check. It doesn't. Mega Pidgeot does not get any sort of fighting coverage except in power fighting, which would probably do like 35 to T-Tar. So it's not even worth it. Realistically speaking, I'd rather have U-turn for initiative if I predicted it to switch. So yeah, let's just get on to the team. I'll show you what I brought. We did bring the Pidgeot. Flame Dog 0-3. He once got like 3 ominous boosts in a row with this mon and a 20. It was like a mono type draft. No, it's just mono type 20. But yeah, as you can see, I'm choosing to run enough speed for looks like a base 115. Who the hell am I outspeeding with this? Oh, I'm outspeeding Scarf Tar. Yeah, that's right. Okay, but I'm actually not because T-Tar is 243. I thought it was at like 241. So it's actually really funny. I don't outspeed, but if you bring Scarf, I don't expect them to outspeed me anyways. So let's just ignore that foresight. Ignore the fact that I'm stupid. But that's what that was supposed to be for. And I believe I do outspeed Scarf and Board. No, I don't even do that. Yeah, this is just bad. This is just a bad set. But it's okay. If he was going to be Scarf, I don't think he'd even run that much. I don't think he'd run the speed tier to outspeed this. So, in a way, it's like 200 IQ. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. 3 attacks, defog. I don't actually have enough room for Roost, and I feel like I can afford to do so. Because Mega Pidgeot isn't necessarily important. It outspeeds the stuff it needs to outspeed. It can actually live a few hits. Like, it could take a few Scalds from Slowbro. I don't want to get T-Waved, obviously, but I don't expect T-Wave. Also, in the Pidgeot, I expect Grass Unity because Rotom Wash is a pretty big problem to him winning. Driller, like, if he's Mold Breaker, which I actually sort of expected, was Sandrush Stoutland. I felt the two together did a pretty decent job because Cobalion gets handled pretty effectively by Torn because it could just take my Iron Head and resist my close combat. Amoonguss, if he brought it. Slowbro basically hard walls me, and he can slack off on me, and I can only realistically Volt Switch. He can Skull Burn me. Just a bunch of stuff that I figured was in mind. But you'll see my plan. But yeah, Mega Pidgeot with the speed tier and U-turn, and plus if I can weaken the T-Tar and basically make it useless, my Pidgeot could just go ham on his team. As you can see, let me scroll down. Yeah, besides T-Tar, X-Control takes like 35 from Hurricane. Torn T doesn't like taking anything. I do actually have to kill the Torn T though for Pidgeot to really clean up. Altaria doesn't appreciate Hurricane, and Amoonguss doesn't appreciate it, Emboar gets destroyed, Slowbro gets 2 KO'd, Galvantula basically gets destroyed, Frostless destroyed, Stoutland destroyed. Obviously if Sand's up though, it doesn't necessarily happen, but that also revolves around T-Tar dying, so it's basically the same concept. Next is Michael Balion. I just named it Sinatra because it reminds me of the GOAT, Frank Sinatra. So yeah, we have a Sugar Berry set because it can bait the Driller pretty effectively. Not to mention, Sugar Berry is just pretty decent overall against his team because I believe there's another Mon that can run ground coverage against me. I guess T-Tar only, but I think he would rather have superpower. Whatever. But yeah, it's basically here to bait the Driller. It's enough attack as needed. The rest in the bulk. Enough speed to outspeed. This is at max speed Jolly X Control. Yeah, I remember that because I didn't feel the need to. I didn't feel the need to speed tie Galvantula. I felt like that was pretty useless, honestly. So it gave me a tremendous amount of opportunity to not only run Adamant, but just to pour more into my bulk because this is more attack than Jolly max attack. I believe Jolly max attack is 279. I hit 286, so it's pretty nice. Next, we have Rotom Wash. Enough speed to outspeed max speed Jolly Emboar. Yeah, that's what that's for. Because I would love to outspeed a Bandit Emboar and just blow it away with Hydro Pump. That'd be pretty awesome. Enough leftovers, enough HP to make leftovers pretty good. Rest into bulk, bold nature. It's pretty self-explanatory. Pain Split's amazing against his team because a lot of his Mons have really high HP stats. Emboar, T-Tar, Torn T, Slowbro, a lot extra drill. They all have a ton of HP, and it gives me the opportunity to not predict Volt Switch or Hydro Pump depending on the play, because Pain Split is more often than not free against his entire team. And if I can bait the Z move, Grass Knot does like 15% to Rotom Wash, so that's even better. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Next is Safety Goggles Crobat because I don't expect the Amoonguss to come. I really don't, but I needed this. Plus, I think Safety Goggles does prevent stand damage, so that's awesome. I basically have the leftovers, like, not really leftovers, but like if I was leftovers, it would cancel out with sand. But with Safety Goggles, I don't take sand, so that's also pretty nice. But it was basically here for Spore Amoonguss. Super Fang because it's really good for Slowbro. If I can get a Toxic on it from my P2 has Toxic. I just spoiled it. I spoiled that, but it's fine. Yeah, Brave Bird for the Amoonguss, and I do decent damage to Driller with Brave Bird U-turn for getting damage on T-Tar, and if he pursuit traps me, it just gives my Rotom the opportunity to not take a hit coming on the switch, so it's even better. Like, I don't mind him pursuit trapping my Pidgeot or my Crobat. This speed stat, this might actually outspeed Scarf and Boar. I'm pretty sure that's what that's for. And yeah, just roots for recovery. Pretty self-explanatory. P2, pretty max defensive because he does not have a lot of good special attackers. Galvantula is basically the only one, and I guess special Hyper Voice Altaria, but I expect physical if he brings it, no doubt about it. So that makes just the set even better. Ice Beam, Bolt Beam, Toxic Recover is just the best set I can bring overall. I gotta be aware of the mons I can have Toxic. Driller could be Toxic Support. The Slowbro could be Toxic Support. I gotta be really careful of that, because if this mon gets status, it's very bad. And this mon is going to be a very effective check against basically his entire team. Banded T-Tar can smack this though. I do have to be aware of that, because Banded T-Tar, like I said with Pursuit, can Pursuit trap my Pidgeot and basically knock it out with Rocks Up. So that's something. And next is Life Orb Mamoswine. If the Slowbro was not leftovers, which I actually don't expect it to be, I do expect the berry. But yeah, if he's not leftovers and there's Rocks Up with Sand, I basically almost took a kill him, even if he's max defense, max HP. And I do have rocks on this thing. I believe I have double rocks, yeah, because rocks are pretty amazing in this matchup. So I wanted to have that opportunity to have double rocks, because it just provides the opportunity to get the rocks up, and it's good for Altaria prior to Mega. It's good for Torn T because it puts it someone in range of Ice Shard. If he has any bulk, it's basically not a roll at all. Basically lives no matter what. But if he's no bulk, then it's a roll. So that's something. I wanted to run Adamant, but I need Jolly because I speed tie Altaria, and I can speed tie. I believe no. Does he have another base 80? I don't think so. I actually don't think he does. Stoutland, yeah, I do also speed tie with Stoutland if he's Jolly, but I do expect Adamant, and if I was Adamant, I would be speed tying. I'll send a Sand, and I didn't want that, so yeah, perfect. So that's basically the entire team. The point is to somewhat have Pidgeot win, and if Pidgeot doesn't win, this can win because of its whack speed tiers. So I'm gonna pause real quick, and I'll be right back. And bada bing, bada boom, we are back, and as you can see, he brought the entire Sand Core, like I did expect it. Brought the Torn T, brought the Slowbro, brought the Altaria. If we look back at his team, because I actually don't know it, because I have the memory of a fucking potato, he didn't bring Stoutland, didn't bring Galvantula, didn't bring the Amoonguss, didn't bring the Emboar. The rest he brought. So I could have realistically, had a better item on Crobat, but I needed that safety precaution because I didn't have a Spore immunity, because I don't even know what my grass type is. So I don't even think I have a grass type. Yeah, I don't even think I have one, straight up. So yeah, I needed that Spore immunity. There was just no going back on that. So looking at his team, Cobalion, it just does a tremendous amount of work if I can keep it around. Iron has the Altaria, close combat's the Driller and lives in EQ. Volt switch off the Slowbro, close combat on the Stoutland, close combat the T-Tar. I was looking at that on paper, and Cobalion does a lot against 80% of his team. And we just work from there. So I'm going to leave it to Cobalion because I want Rocks Up, and he leads with this thing, so that's fine. I'm just going to get my Rocks Up immediately. And he goes for Scald, and he burns me immediately, which is really unfortunate because it just means that he can spin on me forever, and there's no precaution on that, because he's gonna get that consistent 6.25 on top of spin, and I can't just Rocks Up. If I wasn't burned, he'd be doing like 2%, and it would be a lot of 50-50s, and it makes the 50-50s a lot easier for him. So that sucks, and I could have Volt Switched there, but I did expect the drill, and I almost clicked CC. I was this close. You can't see my finger, but I was this close to clicking CC because I knew it was coming. I knew it was, and I guess he didn't want me to Volt Switch on him for the pivot. So and I was burnt. So this was realistically a free switching on Darc's part, and I almost made the play. I almost pulled the trigger. It would have been the fucking best play I've made in a while, but I couldn't do it. And I do find out he's Mold Breaker, by the way. So no Sand Boost, no Sand Force or Sand Rush, I guess I could say. But Sand Rush is the one I was more worried about, because now Pidgeot can hit him up with Heat Wave and basically destroy him, which is fantastic. And speaking of such, I cannot stay in here. And he actually switches himself, which is interesting, because I guess he was scouting for the Scarf. I could easily be Scarf Rotom washing this against his team, and that could do a tremendous amount of work. And I do sort of regret this play. I could have, because he roosted, and I did expect for him to roost scouting my set, but I do like 64% if he's no bulk. So even if he is bulky, I'd probably do like 50 some. And I probably do enough to where he was losing some HP, even though it was probably very little. I was probably still doing a decent chunk. So I could have just Hurricaned and would have done pretty good damage. But I go to my P2, it sort of stops this thing completely. I'm going to Ice Beam. I'm Analytic boosted Ice Beam here, but I actually clicked Toxic. I forgot to show his Analytic because I do like the opportunity to fire off Analytic Ice Beams against Driller or Druid KO if possible. But yeah, he made a really good play because I expected Slowbro, and I should have clicked Ice Beam. That was just my better play. Even T-Tar would have been nice to catch. And anyways, I did 31 with Analytic boosted Ice Beam, which sort of sucks, and the spin is so obvious, so I'm going to go into this thing. And this is what I was talking about, because he gets that 9% off me each time, and he's going to spin here. And he's going to do it a couple of times, and I'm going to give him props here, because he completely outplays me here. Completely. In every single which way he outplays me. Because I'm going to click Close Combat here, and he swaps into his Torrentine and takes like 17 from Close Combat. So, yeah, no, that was just a fantastic play on his part. Like, I couldn't disagree. So I got to make some sick plays now, because I'm basically very behind. He does 28% to me. I'm in range of Z Grass Knot, and I 100% expected it, so I'm going to stack my Sinatra. And I saw Z Bloom Doom, so I was like, fucking yes, let's go. So I scouted it. So basically, Rhythm Wash is a hard check to this now, as long as I am healthy enough. Because as you saw, Hurricane did 28%, which is insane to me, because he's not even a boosting item. That's just Hurricane. That's it. And it just did 28 to a resisted defensive Mon. So I gotta go for, I believe I go for Volt Switch here. Let me see. And no, I go for Will-O-Wisp because it was a pretty free play. If you went into Slowbro, so be it. I just Volt Switch on it, or even Pain Split. It was like, yeah, if you went Slowbro, I Pain Splitted. Anyways, he's DD, so he's either DD Heal Bow or DD Facade. And he actually switches, so I guess he didn't want to take an Ice Beam. And now here, I'm going to go into my Pidgeot because he got rid of rocks on his side, and he got rid of rocks on his side, so I want rocks off my side. And remember, I do have Stealth Rock on the Mamoswine, and Mamoswine does force out basically every Mon on his team besides Slowbro, and Slowbro is at full HP, meaning Stealth Rock is going to be free pretty easily. And he actually clicks Earthquake here again. I don't know if he just predicted me to roost, or if he just doesn't have Iron Head, because I saw Rapid Spin, I saw Stealth Rock. Did he have Stealth Rock? Rapid Spin, Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin. I remember going over this in game, and he could have had Iron Head. He had room for it. Anyways, he's in range of Hurricane because I was doing the damage on Ice Beam, and he actually had some bulk, like a lot, like over 100 HP worth of bulk, which was interesting to me because it means he wasn't a very fast Ice Control. So I had to calculate if Hurricane killed, and it still did from 31, which is pretty impressive. Anyways, this is what I was talking about. He could pursue me here, but he doesn't. He chooses to click Edge. And he misses, which is awesome. And then he's going to go for Edge again and miss again as I drop a Toxic. And this is huge because you'll see why. If he would have landed either one, I would have found out right here that he was banded because he does a crit 67. And that's 100% banded. So if we're going to do the math on Stun Edge here, he was doing around 44% with Stun Edge. And I would have found out and I basically would have died. And this P2 is still extremely important. And the fact that I was able to drop a status on T-Tar is huge because now it's taking damage. And the fact that I dodged that just basically gave me a tremendous position. Because otherwise I was very screwed. I would have had to go Mamoswine, click Stealth Rock on the swap out. So now we're looking rather decent as now he's forced to switch on as I recover. Knockoff is extremely obvious. So I'm going to go into my Rhythm Wash. As I got him, like if he clicked Hurricane twice, that would have been a good play on his part. But see, I'm 1% away from Hurricane. Doesn't want to risk it. I'm at 15%, so Pain Split value, baby. I go all the way up to 61%. Altaria is forced to recover, and I find out I'm faster than this Altaria. And remember, I had enough speed for a Jolly Embor, so he's slower than 252, which means he's a bulkier Altaria with DD. So he's like probably a King DDD set with Cotton Guard, or so you can handle Mamoswine. Which I'm going to go into because he has to roost. And remember, Slowbro's coming in here, so Stealth Rock is coming up. He lost the spinner, so now everything is going towards my court now to win this game. So now I'm going to go into Rhythm Wash now. He can burn me with this thing, it's fine. And I'm going to Volt Switch, and I burned a Wakan Berry, which makes sense to why he swapped earlier, because it would have been burnt earlier on my Cobalion. So he's Calm Mind, which is somewhat scary, but I also have a P2 with Toxic, as long as he's not the rest set. Like literally a day or two prior, Brian showed me like a Calm Mind. It was a block Calm Mind rest Skull Slow King, and that looked like Satan. So I was like really worried that he was gonna be that set too, but he wasn't. And I make a pretty sick double here, and because I did understand T-Tar was a swap, but at the same time, I just expected him to recover, and I was going to Volt Switch. But it also covered the fact that he can go into his Bandit Tar and claim a kill. So this was just a fucking sick play, as my Rotom Wash is going to be able to come in here, and I'm going to click Hydro Pump for basically free, and I kill him. So that was awesome. That was just an awesome play. And now he goes into Stoutland, I got to pick a sack. Crobat's going to take like 81 from this Banded Return, which just proves out 83, even worse. And Stoutland doesn't even take Sand Chip because he's Sand Rush, so that's unfortunate. I'm going to go to my P2 and just click Recover, and he goes into Torn, and at this point, he does question my plays, but in my mind, Hurricane's going to win in the end game. Stoutland's basically already in range after 2 more rounds of Rocks, and Sand is basically gone forever because he was Bantar, so Mamoswine even knocks it out of Earthquake, and like Altar's gonna die to my Mamoswine, and this, once it gets chipped, is dead to my Mamoswine, and Slowbro doesn't handle this, and it's toxic. It's toxic, excuse me. I wish I knew how to speak. But so I figured that sacking Porygon 2 was a fine play, as he goes and just starts attacking my P2, and Analytic Boosted Ice Beam fails to kill, unfortunately, and I dodged the next one. It doesn't matter. I was basically sacking this. I reveal Thunderbolt in case he felt frisky and going into Slowbro. Now I'm going to sack my Rotom Wash. I don't feel I need Rotom Wash anymore. It was only good for Slowbro, basically, and it's basically at 4 HP. Now I'm going to claim my kill because Slowbro is super weakened. And yeah, I did 46, which basically shows that this was a very bulky Altaria. Like, Altaria is a bulky mon, but that's Life Orb, Stab, Earthquake, and I did less than 50%. So at this point, I'm going to go into my my Pidgeot as he goes into Stoutland. Stoutland's at 64, it's in range of Hurricane, so that's dead, and then he basically just forfeits from there. So I'm going to imagine, according to the stats, if they even do that, because I was checking the document, stats haven't been updated since like week 1, so I don't think it matters, but I'm sure Pidgeot just gets the kill, because I would just Hurricane a couple times and eventually kill it. So that's GG to Darc. I basically won because of the edge misses from there, as long as I played correctly, which I felt like I did. It was a good game, so I mean, it won me the game. What can I say? So I mean, it was unfortunate though, because it did 2 kill my P2, and I needed P2 tremendously to have a shot at winning this game. So it's unfortunate, really, because it was my only mon I can also status Slowbro, and Slowbro was a huge win with Combine, because it was probably max defense, max HP. So my Earthquake was doing absolutely nada. I had no taunt. My Rotom can only do so much because it was only Will-O-Wisp with Pain Split and Volt Switch. So eventually that would lose too. So yeah, it was it sucks that it ends that way. But we do pick up this team's first win. I do have the honor of saying that, which is pretty nice. It took 6 weeks. The 6 weeks prior, it was unable to, and the first week I come in, it wins. So Flame Dog 0-3, coming in rather clutch in a matchup that I figured it wouldn't do a lot. But like I said, if T-Tar was gone, it did a tremendous amount of work, and it cleaned up at the end. So it did exactly what I wanted it to. So it's always nice when the plan goes your way. So that's gonna be all for me. So yeah, this was just basically a trial recording because I haven't recorded in a while, so I need to get used to it again. And I do have to go to work in like 40 minutes because it's my day off today from school, so I do work on my days off. I work for the next 3 days, I believe, even 4, depending on the schedule, so we'll see. So yeah, that's all for me, and I'll be seeing you most likely in my IPA draft video, because I need to get those recordings. I need to get used to recording again. So yeah, that's all for me. Au revoir, and peace.